Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Hakuoki Kyoto Wins. We are on Hijikata Toshizo's route still, and we're going to be trucking right along the common route still. It'll be a little while before we actually get into the meat of his story, though of course the bulk of it's probably going to be in the second game anyway. At the moment we're at that part where Ito has left the Shinsengumi, so you can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. So our choice here is to be especially worried about these soldiers. And we want to talk to someone higher ranking, of course. Which would be Hijikata. Once again, yes, of course we're staying for a man in the Shinsengumi here. Go to find the others. Again, you don't know anything. This time, try to attack. That's a new one. Kazuma had a good hold of me from behind, but he hadn't bothered to restrain my arms. There was nothing I could do. I wouldn't dare to attack him. Or perhaps he thought that even if I did, he'd have no difficulty dealing with my attacks. I wasn't foolish enough to think I might actually beat him in a fight, but at least I could try and defend myself. I jerked my sword out. Yeah! I attacked Kazuma with all my might. However... Kazuma easily dodged my swing. His hand slid to my wrist and he twisted viciously. It was strong enough that I thought for a moment my bones would break. With a cry, my sword flew from my fingers.
How dare you point your sword to your future husband? I guess you truly have no idea how powerful I am. I'll just have to discipline you. Where are you looking at? I'm your opponent.
You shouldn't have talked, you should have just attacked. My aborted attack had distracted Kazuma for only a split second, but that was all the time Hijikata needed. Within the space of a breath, he closed the distance between himself and my captor, the tip of his blade leaping toward Kazuma's throat.
Damn it.
Almost too quickly to see, he leaned out of the way. Hijikata's blade hissed through the air centimeters from his neck. A lesser man, or a human, would have been dead, and so for a moment Kazuma's demon strength and reflexes were focused on the sword at his throat. That moment was enough time for me to break free. Oh, new picture. He gripped my arm and my body was jerked into him. Hijikata? I felt a gentle, powerful arm curl around my body, catching and sheltering me at the same time.
Thought you were supposed to stay in your room. You're a real pain, kid.
I know, I'm sorry. But it still earned me points with him.
Still, you did good.
What?
Wouldn't have had that opening without you. Good job.
Praise from Hijikata was not something I was accustomed to. I opened my mouth to say... I wasn't sure what, when...
Hijikata or whatever. You get those dirty hands off her. The girl is mine. I will not give her to a mere human.
Kazuma had recovered quickly from the attack, and his eyes smoldered with cold fury.
Sorry, man, but I can't hand her over. The Shinsengumi's responsible for her now. We gave our word. No going back.
I felt his grip on me tighten as he spoke.
Chizuru Yukimura, come with me. You're a member of an honorable demon clan. You shouldn't be associated with the likes of them. Even their existence is despicable.
The image of Shimada being relentlessly thrown against the wall flashed before me. Even if I was part of a demon clan like he was... No, I'll never join you. I'm staying here. No, please, leave.
You would choose a simple human, then. Oh, too bad, Kazuma. Who would have thought I'd get to see you get rejected by a girl? That was pretty epic. Shut up, Shiranui.
Oh no. Hijikata was having trouble with Kazuma alone. Now we also have Shiranui to deal with. And hopefully Harada and some other guys maybe will help. Just then. Hijikata, my apologies for being late. Better late than never. The Fury Corps will be your opponent.
Sanin.
You there. You sure were saying some funny things a little earlier. If my memory serves me correctly, I think you were saying something like, we were imitators. This is an excellent chance for you to witness our tremendous strength. Or lack thereof. Sanen's hair was stark white, and his eyes were red. He led the Fury Corps toward Kazuma and his men.
These men are fresh, ready to fight. What would you do? So, they could have a whole army of these chumps, and they wouldn't be a match for us. I say we take them apart. We gotta get rid of them eventually anyways. No need to dirty my sword with fake demon blood. Oi, Kazuma! I'll do you a favor and step down today. But this doesn't mean that this is over. I'll be back for the demon woman. Look forward to my return. Hey, wait, you bastards!
Hijikata tried to run after them. With no further deliberation, they leapt over the wall to the street and were gone. What should we do? Should we go after them?
No, we can't afford to let the civilians in Kyoto see any of you guys.
Understood. Then we'll call it a night. My body sagged with relief, as if the terrified energy of the last few minutes quickly ebbed away. Hijikata? Thank you.
No need to thank me. We had our own reasons for wanting to protect you. Just hurry on back to your room.
Okay. Hijikata then ordered the warriors to check for any casualties at the compounds. His face was cold and hard, the face of the demon of the Shinsengumi. As the last of his warmth left me, I shivered in the cold night air. September 1867. I think this is going to be another Zuisoroku scene. September 1867. The colors of the countryside had begun to change. Autumn was coming. I had just finished cleaning up after breakfast and was serving the tea when... I looked again, but he was nowhere to be found. Where had Hijikata gone? As I thought back, I realized he hadn't been present for breakfast either. Maybe I should take some tea to his room. And thus begins the obsession with tea. It's Yukimura. I bought you some tea.
Come in.
Thanks. I slid the door open and stepped inside. Oh!
Thanks. Anywhere's fine.
Okay. I swallowed and hurriedly looked for a place to set the tea down. It felt rude to stare, but... one of my favorite pictures of Hijikata. So beautiful. God, I love men with long hair so much. His hair, usually tied up tight at the back of his head, flowed loose and dark around his shoulders.
What? You bought your tea. Do you need something else?
No, not really.
Then why are you here? Don't have time to talk.
I can't stop staring. I hesitated for a moment, but... isn't your hair in the way?
Yes. Don't have time to tie it up. Too much to do.
Exactly how long does it take to tie your hair up?
Look, I've got mountains of this crap to sift through.
He was right. There were stacks of documents everywhere, and it seemed like he was in a bad mood, but... every time he had to brush a stray out of the way, I could see him getting even more frustrated. I could tie it up for you.
Don't like it when people touch my hair.
Oh, I see. I immediately regretted asking. After a moment of silence, he sighed.
But I appreciate your gesture. See these things?
In an instant, he tied his hair up. Oh, I didn't get to tie his hair for him.
Now I can focus on my work.
Hijikata? Have you even eaten breakfast? I could make you some rice balls or something. For a moment, I wasn't certain if he'd forgotten about me entirely, or if he was thinking over my offer.
No, should be finished by lunch. Then I can go to the hall and eat a lot.
His voice was calm and slightly distracted. Let's see. What do you like to eat? We can cater the lunch for him. Is there something you'd like to eat?
You deaf? I told you I don't have time to eat right now.
What I meant was that I'm making lunch today. So if there's anything you'd like, let me know, and I'll see if I can make it. For the first time, he turned around to look up at me. Then he laughed.
If you make what I want, the other boys are going to be pissed.
Well, let them be, pissed. They can be as mad at me as they want. I mean, you're working so hard, and I can't really help, so I figured the least I could do was make you something nice to eat. I saw his eyes flick to my tightened fists, and he sighed.
Kinda got food on the brain, huh? Guess it could be worse.
Then please, tell me what you want to eat.
You try and back out after I tell you, and you're on my crap list, clear? Last chance to back out. But if you're up to it, if you can make something that'll put a smile on my face, then the gauntlet's thrown.
Okay then. Let's hear it. Hit me with your best shot.
Alright. How about some takaiwase?
Okay. I'll do my best. It would take some time to simmer each of the pieces, but the dish wasn't too difficult, just time-consuming. I could do this.
Good. Looking forward to it. Your cooking's gotten better lately.
Huh?
We don't get a lot of food around here that takes any kind of time to make. I think you can handle it, though.
Hearing such direct praise left me startled and stunned for a few seconds. I quickly tried to hide my smile. I'm sure you'll like it. This time of year we've got lots of fresh vegetables.
Ingredients aren't that important. Just make sure you get that Edo flavor.
Taste of home. He smiled suddenly, and it looked surprisingly peaceful. That smile lit a fire in my heart. I would make a delicious meal, and nothing would stop me. Alright, I'll be going then. I bowed quickly and began to back out of the room.
Hey, Yukimura.
Yes? I spun around.
Do I really look that tired?
No, that's not what I meant. It's just, I feel so useless all the time. I want to help out, but there's just not much I can do. He frowned slightly and was quiet for a moment.
I can't say how it looks to you, but I only do the jobs I can do. If I can't do something, then I give it to someone who can. That's part of my job too.
Yep, delegation of duties.
Determination is good, but if you can't do something, you can't do it, right?
Yes. He was clearly being serious, but I couldn't figure out what he was getting at. He kept talking.
How do I... What I'm saying is, you don't need to give yourself more work. Just do the jobs you can do.
But... If I did that, then I'd barely be doing anything. That didn't seem fair.
You being here gives the Shinsengumi something to stake its pride on. Ever consider that?
No, not really. He looked away with a gesture that looked almost like a shrug.
Point is, we'll keep you safe. Stop worrying. What? Don't trust me?
No, that's not... I mean...
Then just put on a brave face and stop worrying about what you can't control. That's what the rest of us try to do.
Hijikata. My chest felt warm.
Anyway, lecture's over. Sorry for holding you up.
He took a sip of his tea, then turned back to the stack of papers. Thank you. I knew he was driven by a determination to never lose to the demons, and that asking for help from others wasn't part of who he was, but to hear him say that my presence in and of itself was part of that determination. Even though he couldn't see me, I bowed deeply as I left the room. Gives me determination as well. Oh, I don't actually get to give him the food and see the satisfaction. Darn it. Well, we just have to assume that it turned out well. Here I still want to help. And this time help with Ito, the hard part. But that gets me to hang out with Hijikata. And again, I want to help. I will trust Hijikata. And return immediately because we're not courting Saito, so we're not going to hang with him. Now we're heading into Chapter 5. December 1867. Officially on Hijikata's route now. And we still skip some in the beginning of it. And here we go, we have a new text finally. That night, I visited Okita's room to check up on his condition. Good evening, Okita. How are you feeling? Huh? Heisuke? I arrived to find that Heisuke had also come to visit Okita to pass the time.
Oh, hey Chizuru. What are you doing up so late?
What do you mean?
People might get the wrong idea if they see a girl visiting a man's room in the middle of the night.
But everybody's supposed to think I'm a guy. Oh, Heisuke, you're smarter than that. You know Okita and I aren't,
Yeah, I guess you have a point. That's not really your sort of thing, is it?
Hey, what do you mean?
What do you mean? Come on.
So, why are you here?
Is he mad that he's being left out of the conversation and that, basically we're insinuating that Chizuru would not find him sexually appealing?
I assume you've got a reason for visiting me in the middle of the night.
Oh, I came to check up on you, Okita. So, are you feeling okay? Is there anything you want to eat?
Of course not. Look at what's going on.
I suppose.
That all then? Why don't you turn around now?
Oh no, Okita had been acting more aggressively than I had anticipated, so it kinda took me aback, but I had to bring up the subject on my mind. Do you guys know that, Sana wants to augment the Fury Core?
Yeah, of course.
Well, if you were in Sana's position, wouldn't you do the same thing? The Fury Core needs to gain numbers, or they'll never make a name for themselves. I mean, it's a given that once they are deemed useless, they'll be cut off.
Cut off? No.
What? Wait, are you surprised? You think we're some kind of Samaritans with handouts for every mouth to feed around here? I mean, sure, you mooshed off us for 4 years, but that was your luck. They'll never forget it.
Oh, I suppose you have a point. I'm sorry. Oh, Okita, why you gotta make things worse in Chizuru's mind?
Soji, you're being a jackass. It was our fault that she was put into solitary confinement within our compounds.
Heisuke interjected with stern words, and Okita sneered in his direction. Clearly unmoved by Heisuke's defense in my favor, Okita kept harping on about his grievances.
What the hell is Hijikata even doing? He should be kicking himself in the ass that he hadn't already killed the men who hurt Kondo. If I wasn't like this, I'd pick up my sword right now and go get revenge for Kondo.
But do you even know who did it? Okita's bed rest was clearly rankling him. After all, he'd known Kondo for a long time, long before the beginning of the Shinsengumi in Edo. What do you think, Heisuke?
Me? Well, I did decide to drink the water of life, but I'm not gonna lie, I was worried about what would happen to me. Sanin says we should have more men in the Fury Corps. He says we'll never win otherwise. But I also don't like the idea of forcing men who may not have even broken our code to drink the water of life either.
Oh. He was so unlike the Heisuke I remembered, so stern and cold. I couldn't help but feel sad too.
Well, no matter what Sanan says, at the end of the day it's going to be Hijikata who makes the call.
You're right. But the Fury Corps already exists. We can't pretend it doesn't.
Well, and maybe Sanan's right, and we should use the Fury Corps however we see fit. At least they can still wield swords.
Well, yeah, you can still use the ones that are there, but, you don't need to force people to join them. Perhaps we could use the Furies as a weapon. They might help us to win the coming war. Their strength would be an undeniable military asset. But once the war was over, what would become of them? I was afraid to ask that question because I feared I already knew the answer. The next day, an unexpected visitor arrived. Oh! Hello, Chizuru. It's been far too long. Sen, why are you here? And Kimikiku's here too. We've business with the chief. Can you get him for us? Oh, Kondo isn't in good enough shape to speak to anyone. Perhaps Hijikata. Then Hijikata will serve admirably. Alright, please come inside. Let me get you some tea. I wonder what kind of business they could have to discuss that brought them to us at such a late hour. I felt uneasy as we headed toward Hijikata, who was at the magistrate.
Huh, what an unexpected guest. We don't usually allow visitors in here. What do you want?
My apologies for intruding, but it was imperative that I speak with you today. I'll go make some tea. What did I say? Hijikata's route is fraught with tea-making. No, thank you, but that's not necessary. I shall take my leave as soon as I am finished. In fact, I would prefer you stay. You may wish to hear this as well. Okay. What did she have to say that was so important, and that might be something I should hear? Is it about my dad? I sat down in a corner and listened intently. I have come to discuss your furies. When he heard the word furies, I saw his face twitch. I will get straight to the point. How much longer will you employ them?
What do you mean?
You've kept them enslaved for quite some time. I believe you know exactly what I mean. The furies are a failed experiment. Even the shogunate has admitted to that. They are too much for your organization to handle. With demons on your trail, you would do well to wash your hands of furies.
Isn't it up to us to decide whether they're a failure or not? We've done our own research on the water of life. I don't think it's your place to judge us, ma'am. Then are you aware that the Shinsengumi's furies have been murdering people on the street to test their strength? What?
For a split second, his cold mask dropped, and I saw genuine confusion and dismay on his face. Then it was gone, and he was cold and composed once again.
Where did you hear that? Well, I've no reason to tell you. All I can say is this. Rest assured, the source I've received the information from is reliable. You have not been able to keep the water of life from driving your men mad. Your job is to protect the safety of the capital, correct? And yet, your men roam the streets, killing innocent civilians. It disgusts me. Before this becomes common knowledge, I strongly suggest you disband the Fury Corps. Kimigiku's logic was sound. Hijikata had no counter-argument. Everyone in the room had fallen silent. But was it true? Were the Furies indeed cutting people down in the street for the thrill of killing? If the Fury Corps was disbanded, then Sana and Heisuke would... Every one of us waited for Hijikata's answer with bated breath. My heart roared in my ears. I suppose I can table this for the moment. There is something else I must discuss. With this, she turned and looked at me. Chizuru, will you please leave with us? You're asking again? I said no already. What? I know we spoke before, but the situation has changed. You do understand that, don't you? Soon war will break out in Kyoto. If you're going to escape, this is your chance. I knew war was coming, but to hear the truth presented so baldly was jarring. Please come with us. I don't believe the Shinsengumi will be able to protect you once the war begins. Wait a minute. Are you suggesting we can't handle it?
She pretty much flat out said it. The truth is sometimes hard to accept. If Kazuma returns, can you protect her from him? What if he comes to call while you're locked in battle elsewhere against the Satsuma and Shoshu? Will you be able to protect her then? And in any event, she is a demon, not a human. She should be with her own kind. We can protect her. Under our protection, she can be ensured safe passage and a secure hiding place. She turned from Hijikata to face me once again. You see, you should come with us. If you leave, then they can concentrate wholly on the battle to come. Her words hit like blows, but she spoke the truth. War would soon break out, and perhaps remaining with the Shinsengumi would be dangerous for me and for them. I would be useless in war. I was no soldier. Even so, I wanted to stay. I looked over at Hijikata, hoping he might give me an answer. He only furrowed his brow and looked the other way, saying nothing. What was I to do? Make my own decision, let's see. Does that mean he's leaving this decision up to me? I should leave. Well, it's better than I have to leave. This is like, I don't want to leave, but I guess I should. I was sure Sen was right. I should leave, but the words just couldn't come. In truth, I didn't want to leave. I hoped that maybe, someday, all of the madness and war would end, and then I could be a human being. Not a demon. What do you say? What do you say, Chizuru? You really ought to leave. You'll be much safer with us. Her voice was kind, and I knew she had only my best interests at heart, but I still couldn't bring myself to respond. Hijikata, of course, saw straight through me.
You don't want to leave, do you?
Huh?
Then stay. What's there to think about?
You! I have to think about you! But, is that really okay? If Kazuma came after me again... Even though he looks angry, he's still happy.
I'm not going to repeat myself. And what proof do you have that these two can keep you secret any better than we can? Even if he wasn't after you, that bastard would still be an enemy of ours.
Exactly! He'd still fight the Shinsengumi, and then after the war was over, he'd come after me.
If we got the same enemies, it makes sense to me that we'd stick together.
He was as gruff as ever, but it wasn't hard to understand what he was trying to say. So, I can stay?
What the hell kind of question is that? If you were as much of a pain in the ass as you seem to think, I would have kicked you out a long time ago.
Relief flooded out across my body. Thank you so much! With war set to break out at any time, the Shinsengumi was changing. I didn't know how useful I could be to them once battle was begun. But even so, Hijikata told me it was okay to stay. Hooray! Sorry, Sen. Huh. So you've turned me down once again then, have you? I'm sorry. It was very nice of you to offer, though. Oh, it's all right. If you're so determined to stay, then what could I ever hope to do? There was one other tiny thing I wanted to ask you. When you told me before that you were, interested in someone, did you perchance mean Hijikata? What? I wasn't quite sure how to answer that question. Well, to be honest, I don't really know Hijikata that well, but... I stumbled over my words, not quite sure how to explain to her how I felt, perhaps because I wasn't quite sure myself. The men call him the demon, because he's so strict and harsh with the soldiers. A lot of people think that he doesn't care about anyone, and that he's cold, but I think he has a kind heart in there. He has a lot of responsibilities, and the whole Shinsengumi rides on his back. I don't think he has any choice but to act like that. I don't know what I can do for him, but I want to stay here and do whatever I can. Well, I dare say he has captured you quite thoroughly. What? I gave her a confused look, but Sen smiled and continued. And they say that my ancestor, Suzuka Gozen, fell in love with a human by the name of Tamuromaru Sakanoe, and followed him to the capital. I am, in fact, the granddaughter, so I suppose I know something of how you feel. Circumstance and rank mean little before the power of love. Love? I never meant... She only rested her hand on my shoulder and continued. You may be two different creatures, human and demon, but do not think that means your love is doomed to failure. Best of luck to you, Chizuru. I shall be cheering for you.
My lady, we should go.
Oh, yes, you're right. Then I must take my leave, dear Chizuru. Do take care. You mustn't underestimate Kazuma. He is terribly powerful. If something happens, feel free to call me any time. If you need to reach me, please send a letter to Sumi. Alright, thank you. Goodbye. In mere moments, they were gone. Circumstance and rank mean little before the power of love. But was this thing I felt, this desire to be close to Hijikata, was that really love? I just wanted to be around him and help him. Besides, the most important thing to Hijikata was the Shinsengumi. He'd built it up from nothing and put everything he was into it. With war against Satsuma and Choshu brewing, he hadn't the time to think of anything else. That being the case, as someone under the care of the Shinsengumi, I needed to think of how I could best put my skills to use. As evening came, I was helping to prepare dinner at the Fushimi Magistrate. It seemed like the best course of action I had at this time was to prepare meals. I couldn't even prepare many of the side dishes, so all I could do was cook rice for them. But even then, I wanted to make eating easy for warriors who were constantly on the move, so I made rice balls and handed them out. Has anyone not gotten any meals yet?
May I have one?
May I have seconds?
Yes, of course. Have as many as you'd like.
Then can I have one too?
The warriors were ravenous, reaching out for the rice balls with their wet appetites. Oh, glad they have appetites and not just too nervous to eat. I had set some aside for the captains already, so I suppose it was all right. Once I passed them out, the rice balls were almost all gone in an instant. Eventually, it was down to the last rice ball in the basket. The warrior reaching out for it noticed it was the last, and he stopped himself. There are more left, so please take it.
Thank you.
The young warrior had looked so excited as he grabbed it. Aw, that's cute. I was going to use whatever was left over for my dinner, but there were no rice balls left at the end. Still, I was a lot happier knowing the warriors could eat, instead of worrying about myself. I guess I'll hold out until the next meal. My stomach just growled. Thank goodness no one was around to hear it. Maybe it's best if I drink some water. As I was heading to the kitchen, I suddenly heard a voice from behind me.
Was that your stomach just now?
Oh my god, it was that loud that I heard it from that far away. Hijikata! Where did he come from? And he even heard my stomach growl? How embarrassing. That was... actually, I should have stopped before that started, because, yeah, we gotta stop this video. I'm sure there's gonna be a scene here, so I don't want to break in the middle of that scene. So yeah, I hope you'll join me in the next episode. Hope to see you there or in some of my other videos, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye everybody.